It's the Dublin Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with Kojey.
Trickstar Radio.
Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to Breakfast with Kojey here on Trickstar Radio. Just gone 32 minutes past 9, and we are jumping into the interview hour. Today's interview is one that was a little bit short notice, but I'm very, very excited we managed to get it in. The current proprietors of the track of the week here on Trickstar Radio, they've just released a fantastic new album project. We have the Compozers on the line in a fantastically full group call. How are we doing, guys?
Yo, what's going on, man? Yo.
I'm loving this. This is great. So first of all, guys, I wanted to say a big congratulations on the album release. It's all looking fantastic. How are things feeling your end?
Yeah, man, good. People really loving it, so the response has been good. Like, people really enjoying it, tagging us, telling us what their favourite tunes are. First time we've released a project like this as well, so the response is definitely good.
Awesome, man. I mean, kind of going back to the beginning then for you guys, how long have you kind of been working as a group under that Composers alias then?
Well, we've been friends for years. Obviously, we officially formally created the group Composers in 2013, but prior to that, we was always playing together as a collective, so it was only right that we became an official group in 2013. So
2013. Okay, cool. So that means 8 years in the kind of making. Would you say this project has kind of been, not necessarily on your mind, but would you say you've always kind of been working towards a project like this, or is it something that kind of came, I suppose, out of the blue, having a load of collaborations ready? Like, which way around was it?
I think the idea to always have original music in our bank was always there. I think even prior to, like Charles was saying, us becoming a band and a group, some of us were doing production already. So that was always something we were saying we wanted to do, original music, but like the music thing goes, it's all about timing. And I think we felt like now is the time, basically. So yeah, here we are today, and now we've got an EP pushed out.
Amazing, man. I mean, so kind of with this, obviously putting this project together as a whole, it's been a bit of a difficult year. It's been an unusual sort of scenario worldwide, to put it lightly, shall we say. Obviously, studio sessions have been a bit of a bizarre sort of thing. Like, some studios have been open, some haven't. Like, how did you find putting together a project of, I suppose, this level of international magnitude during a time like this?
Well, the thing is that because we've got a lot of relationship and we have our own hub as well, it was kind of easy for us. We didn't literally have to go out and source any studios, so we were still kind of open throughout this corona period. So it wasn't that much of a difficulty trying to get the artists to come down. Also, a lot of people now that are realizing this COVID season had a lot of home studios, so that actually helped us out as well. So it was a mixture of, them sending us their vocals and then them coming in live and then us having like a natural organic rapport with them still.
Nice, man. I mean, this is what's made the album so enjoyable for me to listen to. Obviously, prior to the album's release, I was really keen to get you guys on off the back of the single with Mr. Eazi, which did absolute bits. And I think the interesting thing about this album is when you look at the sort of track listing, the styles that you've gone for, the kind of, I suppose, genre range, it's such a widely kind of reaching project. Was that the plan from the beginning, or did you find that kind of naturally occurring as you were building the selection?
Well, it's the proof in the pudding. The name's called The Experience, isn't it? If you've come to some of our understand that we go through a range of genres, so we decided to put that into our piece of work. So, we start off with the live music, kick off into a bit of, the UK style, into a bit of Afro, and end off with a bit of, R&B, gospel feel. So it's definitely something that is not different from the stuff you see on our shows. We just thought that, we're going to that element of live shows into our EP, and then that's it. You get an experience out of it, literally.
Definitely, man. I mean, I've sat and listened through the full thing a couple of times now, and you could definitely hear that, I suppose, natural kind of running order to it. It definitely feels like it's a project that's supposed to be listened to start to finish the entire way through. When from like a production and a performance perspective, how long does it kind of take to formulate those kind of ideas? Obviously, it almost giving it that feel that it is being played live.
I mean, it varies, because every song has a different approach. Do you know what I mean? So some songs were made like quick, like very quickly. Like, for example, on the EP, a song like Ready was made in a day, but a song like It's Time
was made over. It's so funny because I actually sent the guys the original version of It's Time. It's Time was probably one of the first productions we made, which was in like 2016, and we've revisited it so many times to just, you know, kind of tidy it up. So it just varies on what the song is and how the song evolves over time. So no pun intended. how the song evolves every time the song evolves. Like, you might need to be like, oh no, I wanna. And when you're working with people like us, we're absolute perfectionists. So it's like, you know what it sounds like. Something happens, maybe like a verse drops. Oh, we need to go back and I'm very sure if you gave everybody an opportunity to change something on all the 8 songs on that thing, it would happen. So you can never really put an exact time as to how long it takes.
I suppose like something I'd ask on that then. Obviously, with all of you guys being, as you said, you're all quite perfectionist, and you can definitely hear that in the sound. Everything sounds very polished, very well put together. Like, how do you know when it's kind of time to kind of go, right, we're done on this one, we're not doing any more on it, we're leaving it at that? Like, how do you know when that moment is?
That part you never ever know. That's what I'm gonna say. You never know. It's only when someone shouts at you, it says, "Stop touching it! Stop touching it!"
I mean, it's such an interesting way of hearing it.
It's an organic feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like music, because I think people negate from the fact that a vocalist is also an instrument.
Of course.
So it's like you can produce something. You can produce the most simple beat, like literally the most simple beat. Somebody raps on it or sings on it, and then you're kind of like, this is what was missing. The song is done. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's just about. It's like food. Do you know what I mean? When you're cooking, sometimes as you're cooking, you're adding stuff. You take a little bit, taste it. Once you taste it, then it's like, yeah, this tastes really good. And then it's like, yeah, all right, cool. I think this is enough. So you just need to know when a song sounds good. And I think sometimes what's hard as a producer is not thinking about only yourself, but think about the wider audience and the consumers that are going to listen to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, because sometimes you might hear something you want to add, but am I adding this for my own listening ear, or am I adding this because it's going to make a difference to the song? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, this is the craziest thing. I always end up doing food analogies when it comes to talking about music, and I feel seasoning a tune is the best way to describe it.
It's true.
Yeah, fully. Okay, cool. Well, we've got a couple of things I want to get into this morning. Obviously, we're going to get into a couple of the tracks off the project. The first of which is our Trickstar Radio Track of the Week right about now. I'm absolutely loving the sounds of this one. It is It's Time featuring Kojey Radical. First of all, talk to me about the sort of collaborative nature of this one and how the track actually came together, obviously from both ends.
Yeah. Go on. So, like I said, It's Time was made in, I'm sure there's a video we can even dig up, 2016 when we first ventured out to kind of do production. That was the first production we did. That literally just came by us in the studio playing live. Like, so we was just like messing around with ideas. So we was messing around with like the riff. You can hear messing around with the riff, and you could hear the dun, 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 dun. Fair enough. Yeah, am I still here?
Yeah, still here. Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was here. Yeah, you could just hear the riff. You could just hear the riff going around, and then like we started piecing stuff together. So I started playing drums, and then they brought the harmony line. So what actually happened is we went through, I think about 3 or 4 different rappers, literally, but we just couldn't complete it with nobody because nobody gave us that final, like, yes, this is it. So then one random day on the way to a show, like, we was talking, and then something just made me message Kojey Radical, and I was like, bro, like, take a listen to this beat. And literally, I remember the reply was, don't give this beat to no one else. This is mine. Whether I take a month or 2 months, this is my beat. I said, all right, cool, no problem. And truth be told, it ended up being his beat. He turned it around and he spazzed. So once he kind of laid his verse, like I was saying earlier, that's when like more ideas came as to how we can approach it, how we can polish it up, and then that's what we did. And then, you know, like the tune became what it is today.
Amazing, man. I mean, obviously listening through this tune, I feel as an intro tune, it sets so many tones, it sets so many kind of bars level-wise in regards to the quality, the overall composition. There's so much going on. Obviously, you go into this mad mad kind of orchestral outro as well. Obviously, with this tune, then, if we're going to talk about initial responses, would you say this is one of the more talked about tunes on the album so far?
You know what? Mixed reviews. I think people who know composers as composers, this is definitely getting action. But this is the closest thing that we do to live. But a lot of people are feeling a lot on other tracks like the Like This, Like That, and Burnout, which is more because they're vibey songs, isn't it? But yeah, we're definitely getting good. Like It's Time and Find the Way, because they're like brother sister tracks to each other, isn't it? So yeah,
definitely, man. I mean, this, as I said, we're absolutely loving the sounds of this one. It is our Trickstar Radio track of the week right about now, featuring Kojey Radical. We're going to jump into this one in just a second. Guys, just for those that aren't aware and obviously are listening in, maybe have just kind of tuned in, for following you guys on socials, what's the best platform for people to kind of stay up to date with what you're doing?
So
everything.
EOMPOZ or Z for in America. ERS. That's socials. That's Insta, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. Follow and subscribe. The usual. COMPOZ or Z for in America. ERS.
Amazing stuff. Right, we're going to jump into this one right about now. It goes by the name of It's Time. It is our Trickstar Radio track of the week. We're going to be back in a few minutes, and we're going to talk more about the album and what else is on the way. So keep it locked, guys, and don't go anywhere.
This is Breakfast with Kojey, bringing you them morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.